to local governments, Shannon, and their message is that federal money will stop coming if sanctuary cities do not start enforcing immigration law.
I think the issue is each local law enforcement has their own unique situations to deal with, but they're not figuring out which other laws they're not going to avoid. They're not figuring out which ones we're not going to pay attention to. They determine, basically, I think really most of the times from a political basis, dealing with their constituents, that we're just not going to enforce immigration because we have a problem with the way it's being handled.
If anybody is following immigration laws right now, the Attorney General Jeff Sessions says it's criminals. Here's part of a statement from him last night. He says violent transnational gangs like MS-13 take advantage of these policies in order to smuggle in drugs, recruit new members from our schools, and pillage and plunder our communities. Closing these loopholes in our laws must be a priority if we are to make America safe from these dangerous transnational organizations. And of course, the other bill being considered today, known as Kate's Law, does lay out harsher penalties for convicted criminal aliens who come here illegally, do a lot of illegal things, and then keep trying to come back. Shannon.
Yeah, and I talked to a number of lawmakers about whether they think Democrats will get on board to vote with some of these things. There's a bit of skepticism there. So what is their argument, the Democrats, against these laws?
They basically think that they apply to too many people, including folks who come here illegally but then live by the rule of law once they're here.
Well, talking about Kate's Law, I mean, obviously this is a young woman that was murdered and was horrible, and there is no excuse for that. You know, our heart goes out to her family. You know, it's just a horrible thing. It shouldn't happen. This bill, however, targets all immigrants, that a lot of them who have just come illegally here. They just, you know, come to work or reunify with their families, and then we treat them as hardened criminals.
So it doesn't sound like there's going to be a lot of Democratic support today for these measures in the House. If they do pass, they'll go over to the Senate, though, where they will need 60 votes. And as we've seen recently with everything the Senate has tried to do, getting 60 votes is pretty tough.
Yes, it is. Peter Ducey, though, monitoring it there on the Hill, chasing folks around. Good to see you this morning.